The wilderness has always captivated the human spirit. Vast, untamed, and ancient, it beckons adventurers, families, and nature lovers to explore its beauty. But for some, the call of the wild becomes a one-way invitation, an entrance with no exit. In the heart of America's most cherished natural sanctuaries, people are vanishing without a trace. The phenomenon has a name now, Missing 411. Coined by former police detective David Paulides, the term refers to a series of unexplained disappearances in national parks and remote wilderness areas across the United States and beyond. These are not simple lost hiker stories. They follow patterns, they defy logic, and they leave behind questions that law enforcement, search teams, and even forensic experts struggle to answer. One of the earliest and most unsettling cases was that of Dennis Martin, a 6-year-old boy who vanished in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in 1969. Dennis was playing hide-and-seek with his family and a few other children during a Father's Day weekend trip. One moment, he was behind a bush, then nothing. No scream, no struggle, no sign of a wild animal. Despite one of the most extensive search operations in park history, involving the FBI, Green Berets, and hundreds of volunteers, Dennis was never found. His disappearance remains one of the most haunting in National Park Service records. Then there's the case of Jared Negreed, a 12-year-old Boy Scout who disappeared while hiking with his troop in the San Bernardino National Forest in 1991. The only trace found? A single photograph he had taken of himself, found near the summit, his eyes wide, his expression unreadable. The rest of him was never located. Time and again, these disappearances share chilling similarities. Victims often vanish near boulder fields, streams, or dense thickets. In many cases, they are with others, friends, family, or hiking groups, only to disappear in the blink of an eye, sometimes just a few feet away. Search dogs frequently fail to pick up a scent. Bodies are sometimes found miles away, in locations that had already been thoroughly searched. In other instances, they are never found at all. The National Park Service does not maintain a centralized database of missing persons, making the true scale of this phenomenon difficult to measure. Paulides, however, has identified hundreds of cases that defy explanation and follow strangely consistent patterns. What makes it even more disturbing is the lack of official answers. Authorities often label these incidents as simply getting lost or animal attacks, despite the glaring holes in the evidence. But these aren't just stories from decades past. New cases continue to emerge. People, young and old, experienced hikers and first-time campers, are still vanishing under conditions that defy explanation. The deeper one looks into Missing 411, the more unsettling the mystery becomes. So the question must be asked, what is happening out there? Is it nature's cruel unpredictability? A predator lurking where no one expects? Or could something stranger be at work? Something no one dares to speak out loud? This is not a ghost story. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is a documented pattern, one that continues to grow. Before we go any further, ask yourself this. If you were walking through a beautiful remote trail and turned your back for just a second, would someone still be there when you turned around? And more importantly, would you? At first glance, the disappearances scattered across America's wilderness may seem like isolated tragedies, unfortunate accidents in dangerous terrain. But as researchers began to map the incidents and compare details, a chilling pattern began to emerge. A pattern that shouldn't exist. A pattern that suggests something more than chance. Most of the missing 411 cases share common elements, factors so specific and so repeatedly present that they have become impossible to ignore. Victims often disappear in areas with granite, dense forest, or water sources nearby. The missing tend to be either very young children or elderly individuals, those least likely to traverse rugged terrain quickly. Yet their remains, when found, are often discovered miles away, at altitudes or locations that would have been physically impossible to reach on foot. And then there are the weather anomalies. In dozens of cases immediately after a person goes missing, weather conditions suddenly shift. Torrential rains, unseasonal snow, or heavy fog descends upon the area, obscuring visibility, covering scent trails, and complicating search efforts. This happens so often it's been dubbed the weather event by investigators who follow these cases. Is it a cruel coincidence, or something more calculated? One of the most unnerving aspects is how search and rescue dogs behave. In several high-profile cases, trained canines, usually reliable trackers, refuse to follow a scent or appear confused and frightened. Some stop working altogether, as if something beyond their comprehension is in play. Then there's the bizarre recovery locations. In many instances, bodies or belongings are recovered in places that had already been searched multiple times, sometimes by teams of experts using helicopters, drones, and infrared. Yet suddenly, a shoe, a piece of clothing, or even a body is found right out in the open. How could it be missed the first time? Are things being returned? As you listen to these stories unfold, ask yourself, could there be a pattern more than just geography or statistics? Could something unknown be selecting its targets? If you're drawn to unraveling the unexplained, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the mysterious cases we explore next. Every view, like, and comment helps bring attention to the people who never came home. These strange similarities span across decades, continents, and nationalities. The age, fitness level, and experience of the victims vary, yet the outcomes remain disturbingly familiar. One moment they're there, the next gone. No scream, no struggle, just a vanishing. Take the case of Stacy Arris, a 14-year-old girl who disappeared in Yosemite National Park in 1981. She was horseback riding with her father and a group when she walked a short distance alone to take photos of the view. She never returned. Her camera lens was found, but her body never was. The area had been in full view of the group, yet no one saw or heard anything unusual. Then there's Tom Messick, an 82-year-old retired paratrooper and skilled hunter. In 2015, he went missing during a hunting trip in New York's Adirondack Mountains. He was last seen sitting by a tree, radio in hand. A massive, organized search yielded nothing. Not a footprint, not a broken branch. He simply ceased to exist. Some believe these disappearances are the result of human foul play, rogue killers operating in the deep woods. Others suggest animal attacks, though the lack of blood, drag marks, or remains challenges that theory. Still others point to more outlandish explanations: wormholes, time slips, secret underground bases, or predatory entities hidden in plain sight. These ideas may sound far-fetched, but so too does the thought of someone vanishing in seconds, without a single trace, in broad daylight. What's most unsettling, perhaps, is that no one is connecting the dots, not officially at least. The National Park Service provides no comprehensive list, no central reporting database. Families are often left to do their own digging, their own searching, alone. the deeper you go into Missing 411, the more you feel it. An invisible web connecting cases across time and distance. One that whispers a terrifying possibility. Something is happening out there. And whatever it is, it's still happening. As the cases continue to accumulate, the question becomes inevitable. What is causing these disappearances? While some investigators cling to rational explanations, others are compelled to look beyond the ordinary, into a realm of theories that challenge everything we think we know about the natural world. The most accepted explanation is the harshness of nature itself. National parks are vast, unforgiving environments. A simple misstep near a cliff, sudden disorientation, or hidden crevasse could lead to disaster. In some cases, people venture off trail and succumb to injury, exposure, or dehydration before rescue teams can reach them. Wildlife encounters, too, have been cited. Mountain lions, bears, and other predators. But these explanations quickly unravel under closer scrutiny. Many Missing 411 cases lack any evidence of a struggle. No drag marks, no blood, no personal effects scattered along a trail. In several instances, shoes and clothing have been found neatly placed, a detail difficult to reconcile with a violent end. Even more strange, some victims' feet show no signs of injury, despite their shoes being found miles away from where they were last seen. Then there's the question of recovery locations, often in areas previously searched or nearly inaccessible to the missing person. Children found atop ridgelines miles from where they vanished. Elderly individuals with limited mobility discovered in areas requiring expert-level climbing. It doesn't add up. This has led some researchers to explore more unconventional possibilities. One theory involves rogue individuals or organized groups operating within the parks, isolated survivalists, or even cult-like entities. Could there be people living off the grid, capturing unsuspecting hikers for unknown purposes? It's a disturbing thought, but one that fits the complete vanishing of so many, especially when no remains are ever recovered. Others propose government secrecy. The National Park Service has been criticized for its lack of transparency regarding missing persons data. Some speculate that certain areas within the parks may house classified installations, or are the site of unspoken experiments. Could access to these zones be restricted not by fences but by fear? And then there are the paranormal explanations, the ones that sound impossible, until you begin to examine the sheer volume of unexplainable cases. Some suggest that people are encountering interdimensional portals, natural rifts in the fabric of space and time. The idea may sound pulled from science fiction, but numerous accounts describe individuals vanishing instantly, or being found disoriented and confused, unable to account for large gaps in time. In a few rare cases, people who returned reported feeling as though they had only been gone minutes, while days had passed in the real world. Another unsettling possibility is non-human intelligence. The idea that something is living among us, unseen, undetected, and predatory. From folklore's forest spirits to modern tales of skinwalkers, shadow people, and alien entities, humanity has long whispered about something else in the woods, something ancient, something that doesn't want to be found. But perhaps the most haunting theory of all is one we're not ready to face: that nature itself is hiding something. That the forests, the mountains, the deep valleys aren't just terrain, but active participants in this phenomenon. Could the earth contain places that consume people, not physically, but existentially? Places that unmake a person entirely? As terrifying as these ideas may be, they all share one unshakable truth. None of them fully explain the facts. None resolve the impossibilities. And perhaps that's what keeps the missing 411 cases alive in the public imagination. They demand belief in the unbelievable. Because when the normal rules of the world break down, we are left with only one answer. We don't know. But how many more will vanish before someone does? For the families left behind, the passing of time brings no clarity, only deeper questions. Each missing 411 case isn't just a mystery. It's a person, a son, a daughter, a parent, or a friend who walked into nature and never returned. Behind every headline lies a story of grief, confusion, and an enduring absence that stretches on in silence. Consider the case of Dior Kuntz Jr., a 2-year-old who vanished from a campsite in Idaho in 2015. His parents turned away for just a moment. In that instant, Dior disappeared. Despite exhaustive searches, cadaver dogs, helicopters, and hundreds of volunteers combing the area, no trace was ever found. Not a shoe, not a shred of clothing. It was as if he had been erased from the earth. Or Jared Negrete, a 12-year-old Boy Scout who disappeared in the San Bernardino Mountains in 1991. His camera was later recovered, and when the film was developed, one of the last photos was a close-up of his face, eyes wide, lost in the darkness. A haunting final image. Jared was never found. Each of these cases ends the same way, with more questions than answers. How can a person disappear so completely? Why does it keep happening? And why are the official investigations often so limited in scope? Many families report encountering resistance or indifference from authorities. In some cases, they've been told not to pursue certain lines of inquiry. Park services remain notoriously quiet, and there is still no central database for missing persons in federally protected lands. It's left to private researchers, journalists, and grieving families to piece together fragments of truth. And yet, the disappearances continue. In 2022, Ardeth Platt, a 66-year-old hiker, vanished in Olympic National Park. The weather was clear. She was experienced, healthy, and had planned only a short walk. Her backpack was later found beside the trail, but she was never seen again. Search efforts were called off after just a few days. The public often forgets these names, but their loved ones do not. Birthdays pass, holidays come and go, and each year adds a new layer to the ache of not knowing. Without closure, grief becomes a maze of maybes. Did they fall? Were they taken? Are they still alive somewhere? And while some hold on to hope, others sense something darker. In the age of GPS, satellite imaging, and surveillance, it seems unthinkable that a human being could just vanish. But perhaps that's what makes these stories so unsettling, because they still happen, even now. Even with all our technology, all our knowledge, the wilderness remains a place where the unknown still reigns, and people are paying attention. Online forums, podcasts, and YouTube channels have created a growing digital network of amateur sleuths and believers who refuse to let the silence win. They share stories, examine patterns, and debate theories.